All right, Candle Range Theory Trader back with an exciting video on infinite scalping, the Candle 3 daily income series. So I'm starting a fresh series, so let's get into it. Obviously, the disclaimer, trading is risky. This is not financial advice. You will likely lose most, if not all, of your money a few times. This is for entertainment purposes. Try this at your own risk. So the method at a glance is very simple. We trade the Candle Range Theory here, where we trade daily candle threes, this candle right here, candle 1, candle 2, and then candle 3, we focus on this, sometimes candle 4, more on that a little later. So the method that we use is this. We go for one-to-ones, okay? 20 pips stop loss, 20 pips take profit. The entry trigger is we use a fair value gap in line with our buys for the day. The starting account balance for these illustrations will be 100 bucks, and the risk per trade is going to be $50 to $70 to start, which is a very high risk. Again, this is a high risk strategy. But then we can either go asymmetric or steady compounding with there, continuing to use that high risk. So this is something that obviously you have done. This was just a one day of activity on the 8th of April. So just started small and then just compounded it up. All of these, though, were pretty much one-to-one trades. Okay. Just one-to-one, one-to-one, one-to-one. Okay. All candle threes as well on the daily chart. So let's take a look at an example here and show you how this would work. So we have a candle 1, candle 2. This is the daily candle 3, and this is the daily candle 4. So first we're going to take a look at candle 3 on the 5-minute chart. Now this video isn't so much about entries and how to trade as much as it is about risk management. But I'm just going to show you. Okay, so this is the 5-minute chart on this candle right here. This is candle 3. All right, so our entry trigger, like I said, was fair value gap. So we just pretty much base our entries around the fair value gap. And all of these are one-to-one risk to reward ratio using a 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. That's it. So we do entry number 1 right here. The best entry right here would have been about 10 to 10:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the next one would have been at 4:15 a.m. to 5:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the next one and last one would have been at about 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's how that shook out. So in terms of risk, let's take a look at the risk here. So these are just two options. These are not all of them. These are just two suggestions that you can experiment with. The first one, the one I primarily use, is a high percentage risk. Okay. So the first trade, what you could have done out of your $100 balance is risk 50 bucks, which is half. Like I said, that's a lot. But using a one-to-one, you're risking 50 to make 50. When you win, if you win, you make 150 bucks. If you lose, though, obviously it's 50 bucks that's left over. Okay, trade 2, you can risk 100 to make 100. I've done that in the past as well. But at the same time, if you do that, your new balance, if you win that next trade, would be $250. So you're started at 100, then you're at $250 at the trade 2. There's nothing saying you can't stop here. 150 bucks in a day after 2 trades is not bad. Okay, that's over 100% gain. However, if you did want to go for one more, then what you could do out of that $250 balance is you could risk 200 to make 200. If you win, you will win 450 bucks. But if you lose, you go back to 50 bucks and you end the day red. So that's just one option. Again, high percentage risk. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to act like this is conservative. It's really not. Now, you can also use something that's called an asymmetric risk to reward, whereby what you do is you primarily risk the broker's money or house money once you're in profit. So trade 1, you could risk 50 to make 50 euros. So you're still starting at high risk, but then once you start high risk, then you're going to try to use your profits to make more profit. So trade 2, you could risk 50 bucks out of the 50 you just made, plus another 20 of your own. So 50, and I'm using those numbers arbitrarily, use whatever you want. So that will be a total of 70 bucks. So again, risk 50 of your profit and 20 of your own principal, and you're still sticking with one-to-one. So you're risking 70 to make 70. So if you lose here, you'll be left with 80 bucks. But if you win here, you'll get 220. So you see here, it's a little less than the high percentage risk person. Okay. And then lastly, on your last trade, if you can start with the 220, again, you're going to use your profits and some of your own money. So here you can risk 100 to make 100. But you're going to risk 70 bucks of the profit plus 30 bucks of your own money. And then that will give you a final balance if you win of 320, or if you lose here, you would have a remaining balance of 120. But after all of this, notice how you still end the day in profit by 20 bucks. Whereas over here, you could blow everything you've made on this third trade if you so choose to continue. So it's up to you. All right. So next up, this is candle 4 on the 4-minute chart, which gave a lot of opportunity. Okay. So candle 4, this is the 5-minute chart of this candle right here. Okay, this is candle 4, right? So let's go back. So you got your first entry at 3:25 a.m. right before London session. This fair value gap actually held, so it gave quite a few chances. So you could have got in at 3:25 for a 1-to-1. You also could have got in at between 5:45 and 7 a.m. Consolidation around the fair value gap gave another entry signal. Then you got another entry signal for trade 3 for a New York session, 9:45 to 11, all this consolidation, but the gap still held, so you would have been good there. You got another entry signal here off of this fair value gap at 12 noon, and then one last one right here at around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay, for another 1-to-1. So all of these, once again, 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. So now I'm only going to do 4 trades out of the 5 because this was from 3:25 to 2 p.m. If you got enough time to do all that, fine. But I don't. This is not. That's not ideal. You don't want to watch a chart every single day, right? So maybe set a price alert or two. Maybe catch a couple in London and maybe like one in the U.S. But all of this was basically the same trade 3 times. 1, 2, 3. But let's keep going. So it's in essence the same thing. So I won't rehash all these charts, all these trades. It's just that the fourth one here would have been the main difference maker. So by this time, you could have had 450 bucks after trade 3. And if you wanted to risk 300 to make 300, then your new balance after all of these is 750 bucks from 100 to 750. And from the asymmetric standpoint here, if you would have risked 100 or at the bottom, you could have risked 150 to make 150, and you would have gone from 320 up to 470. So while there's a large disparity between the two, these are still some great risk to reward opportunities that you would have had. And even still with this one, even after this loss right here, you could have ended the day in profit. This day here would have ended the day in 50 bucks in profit if you lost this last trade. And this here would have ended with $70 in profit if you had lost this last trade. So, but again, you can pause, take a look at that. The numbers, they're all the same except for that fourth trade. I didn't include the fifth one because that's just, I'm not trying to catch every single move on candle 3 or 4. That's just not how I do things. Okay. So do not expect a 100% win rate, right? When you take these trades, obviously some fair value gaps are going to fail. You're going to get the direction wrong, etc., etc. But this is just a sample week at a glance. So say, for instance, you start Monday with 100 bucks and you end up to compounding it to 370 bucks. You get 270. Now, Tuesday is a red day for you. You try and try, but your account falls to 30 bucks. Okay. What you have to do then is deposit 70 bucks to keep it going. Right. Wednesday, you managed to compound 100 bucks to 250. Awesome. You go ahead and pull that out. You've made 150 bucks for the day. Then Thursday, you managed to compound $100 into 300 bucks for $200, right? So then Friday, there's a red day, your account falls to 50 bucks. Okay, so it's just a red day. Okay, so out of these 3 days, you won 3 and lost 2. 2 days, you didn't make any money. Okay, so how did you do for the week? Your money in, you deposited 100 bucks on Monday, and then you also had to deposit another 70 bucks on Wednesday, okay, after you lost. So your money in was 170. Your withdrawals, you pulled out 270 on Monday, 150 on Wednesday, and 200 on Thursday, which equals 620 bucks. We subtract these two, 620 from 170, you are at $450 net profit for the week. And if you can average these numbers in a month, you'll be looking at around $1,800 net profit per month, okay, or a month, give or take. Okay, so in conclusion, this method is for scalpers. Okay, if you don't know how to spot candle 3 or trade candle 3 or know how it acts, you want to take a look at the deep study video on this channel to study its behavior. It's under the playlist, so you can look at that. This method does work best with high leverage brokers. Try not to risk all your margin. You can't get margin call, so take what you can get. Because this is high risk, I strongly recommend you withdraw your profits at the end of each trading day. Do not leave it in there. It's not ideal for prop firms because some of them have lot size limits. They have consistency rules, and this could be labeled as high risk or gambling behavior. I'm going to be honest with you here. Okay, this is best for just using your own money, not prop firms. Okay, try to limit yourself. I'd recommend to 3 to 4 winning trades. If you win 3 trades on the day, if you manage to I'd say if you can triple your account, not triple, but double your account in a day, that's good. Okay, you've made 200 bucks. If you turn 100 into 300, you 3 extra money. That's a $200 withdrawal. And say if you did have a 100% win rate for a week, that's $1,000. 2, 4, 6, 8, 1,000. $1,000 a week for pressing some buttons on a phone or on a computer is not bad. Now, do not let your losing trades hit the stop loss to protect your downside. Okay, just because you risk 100 doesn't mean you have to lose 100. Okay, if the fair value gap that you get in on gets broken, I will strongly recommend you get out of the trade. See, so that's why we do one to ones, because notice this gap right here held. So if this gap would have failed and you entered right here and a candle closed above it, that's your signal to get out before the stop loss gets hit. Okay, right here, this gap held, but if it candle closed above it, just get out. That's your warning, because it's not going to hit the stop loss and just completely spikes. But when you get candle three right, typically they do hold. Okay, the good ones they hold, but you will have some that do fail. There were a bunch of gaps in this window right here, just judging by this price action, that did fail because price came all the way back up. So the only one that held was actually just this one. So I like trading off the first fair value gap of the day. That's a good sign. But again, not all of them will hold. So you will take losses doing this method. So control your loss. The only thing you can control is your downside. All right. Now, let's see. Do not let the losing trade hit the stop loss, which is what I just said. And do not try for 1 to 2, 1 to 5. It's really not worth it. Okay. Stay with 1 to 1 for your best odds. 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. If you do that, your odds of success are going to be so much better than the average trader. Okay. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks for your time and attention. Try it on demo first if you're curious about it. But that's it. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.